What if I told you you only have 12 hours to legally have sex?
To finding true love, or just like a good guy.
From the director of Easy A and Anyone But You.
This whole thing is nuts.
There's nothing traditional about this night.
On August 7th, the clock starts on the summer's biggest rom-com.
I'm Owen.
Allie.
What about you and me?
Monica Barbaro, Callum Turner.
I've been told I'm a 7.
By who? Your mom?
Nah, she thinks I'm a 10.
One night only. Rated R. Only in theaters August 7th.
Welcome to the Travel Squad podcast, where adventure meets inspiration. We're your hosts. I'm Brittany.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Jamal. Together we explore international destinations, hike epic national parks, and share unforgettable travel experiences with you, one passport stamp at a time.
Our mission is to inspire you to travel by showing you how you can make it work no matter your budget, schedule, or experience level. We bring you along so that you can laugh, get excited, and start planning your own trip. So grab your ticket and your passport.
And don't forget your travel insurance.
And get ready to embark on a new adventure with us around the globe.
Hello, fellow travelers.
Hey, squaddies.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Travel Squad podcast. Today, we are taking you to St. Petersburg, Florida, to vacation like a local.
I'm really excited to hear all about your trip to St. Petersburg, Kim, because Brittany and I have been to Florida several times. And actually, the most recently we were in Florida was February of this year. And we were in Tampa, which is just right across the bay from St. Petersburg. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to go there and visit it. But I know St. Petersburg is one of the more popular places and cities to go to in Florida and experience just that Florida lifestyle, right? And from my understanding, like even though they're very close, like Tampa and St. Petersburg are very different in a way. So I'm really curious to see what Tampa was like for us, just from my perspective, of course, as you're telling, but really get excited to go back and do things in St. Petersburg.
I actually don't know much about St. Petersburg, so I am excited to hear about this episode. I know you were there for quite a while, 6 days, so you got to spend some time and live like a local, and I'm excited for you to dive into it and add another Florida destination onto our bucket list.
And I'm excited to get into it. I was unfortunately not able to make it to Tampa. I really wanted to. I have to go back for that because I've heard great things about Tampa. But St. Petersburg is not too far away from Tampa. As I found out, everything is fairly close in this area. But St. Petersburg is that beachy destination neighbor of Tampa. Tampa would be the nearest airport to fly into for St. Petersburg. It's a Gulf Coast city. It's on the west coast of Florida. It's known for sunshine, just like every other place in Florida is. It has amazing waterfront parks, a very thriving art scene, a very nice coffee shop scene, and it's really got that laid-back coastal vibe that you find in San Diego and Encinitas. I would say Encinitas more. This like locals, neighborhood, chill, less than touristy vibe than I was expecting.
That's good because obviously we see all the reels on Instagram where people are ragging on tourists who are travelers, and then it's like you're the tourist, but you don't want other tourists there. And it seems like St. Petersburg was that place to go and really kind of experience something like that.
Absolutely. And I didn't realize this. Technically, St. Pete Beach, the actual oceanfront beach areas of St. Petersburg, it's technically a different town, but this episode is going to talk about St. Petersburg and St. Pete Beach. St. Pete Beach is known for its beautiful white sand beaches. As I found, some of them were white sand, some of them were a little more shelly. Still beautiful nonetheless. Amazing sunsets over the ocean, beach chairs that you can rent, beach resorts, but still a really laid back, family-friendly beach vibe.
Now, since you love Miami, Kim, because I know you've been to Miami lots of times, obviously you can't compare Miami to St. Petersburg, but tell me your just different perspective real quick before we get into it, right? Because Miami's Miami, but what did you think with just all your experience there coming here?
Well, funny enough, I was comparing it to Miami the whole time that I was there. I had been on a Florida marathon trip. I started in Miami for F1. I went up to Palm Beach, which we have a mini episode on. I went up to Orlando for a couple days, and then I drove over here to St. Pete. I did this because I would like to move to Florida one of these days, not too far in the future. And St. Pete was one of the cities that I'd heard great things about. Never been to it, really wanted to check it out. Miami is that other city that I'm thinking about moving to. So the whole time I'm comparing it to Miami. I'm trying to give myself that caveat. It's not Miami. It's not going to be Miami. But I did find myself throughout this trip really comparing it to Miami. And the biggest differences are, I would say, the liveliness of like the downtown, which I will get into. And then St. Pete is still an up and coming destination. There's still money coming in. It was hit with a bad hurricane a couple of years ago. It's still recovering from that. And so I found that it's more of that Encinitas vibe. So I know we're saying it because we know Encinitas, but to try to put it into words, it's just more of a local spot. They don't have a lot of the big development and big money that you would typically see in Miami. They do have yachts and a big, nice marina, so it's not like they don't have money, but it's just not as flashy.
I guess that could be a good thing or bad thing depending on what you want. But nevertheless, it seems like you have all the good things that everyone loves about Florida, just without that kind of chaos, unless you're looking for it. A little bit more laid back.
Yes, very, very laid back. In fact, I always heard, oh, the drivers are crazy in Florida. I rented a car for this trip, and I don't know, Texas is probably more insane because I was like, why is everyone driving so slow here? Like, come on, people.
Because Florida is littered with senior citizens, Kim. Don't you know this? They're driving like 50 miles an hour and the 70 on the freeways, you know?
Yeah. Even in Miami, I was like, wait, I think Texas has ruined me.
So, Kim, before you continue on telling us all about St. Petersburg and getting into the tips and the meat and potatoes of this episode, I want to remind you, squatties, all about Thrifty Traveler Premium. You've heard us mention it before. If you are looking into flight deals to Tampa, St. Petersburg, or really anywhere else, it is a subscription-based service that we subscribe to ourselves that sends you flight alert deals straight to your email inbox. We're talking flight deals in terms of low cash offers, points, and they've recently added hotels just as well. So if you have those hotel points looking for a great deal wherever place you're staying or even here in St. Petersburg, be sure to subscribe to their premium subscription. You can go to thriftytravelerpremium.com and use our promo code TSP for $20 off your first year subscription.
This summer, say I do.
I am marrying a stranger.
Like never before.
Am I crazy?
It's a whole new Married at First Sight on Peacock.
Thank God I woke up in love.
With new experts.
My name is Dr. Lisa.
My name's Paul Brunson.
More couples.
This could be the start of a very successful marriage.
And more surprises.
Or maybe not.
Everything is just not enough.
You're a little bit crazy.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I want my fairy tale ending.
Married at First Sight, now streaming. New episodes Thursdays, only on Peacock.
I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Bring a date, your squad, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Ever wonder where Tropicana got its name? The tropics. And every time you enjoy a glass, you're not just drinking juice. You're taking a trip. Stepping into sunshine and embarking on a flavorful journey into the tropics where ripe fruit is crafted into wildly delicious juice. And the best part? No passport required. Tropicana. Give life some juice.
Now, our true squatties listening, they tune in for, yes, great travel advice and trip inspiration, but two, we like to think for funny stories because we have a relationship. Squatties, we love you. Even if we don't know you personally, we feel like there's a relationship between us, right? So I think sometimes we get comments that give us feedback that we didn't do a good job inspiring you to go to this destination. Well, look, we're also here to tell stories, and that's what this episode is going to be because I wasn't here just for travel. If you're looking for just a travel guide to St. Petersburg, Florida, there's probably better podcast episodes about that, but this is going to give you a local's perspective, or I'm not a local, but I was living like a local for 6 days here. And I was also working while I was here in a couple different jobs. And I was house sitting when I was here. So I guess I had 3 jobs to do while I was in town and mixing in travel to the mix as well.
Well, I think that's a really good segue for why you felt like a local was because you were staying in someone's home and you were taking care of pets. And so it made you feel like you were living there.
Absolutely. I had a home to stay in. It was from trusted house sitters. I paid absolutely $0 for it. I was house sitting in a beautiful home, cool dog. The dog was like a golden doodle who liked to cuddle with me. It was nice to have a dog. I took it on a few walks, and that was really nice to just get the neighborhood feel. Like I said, I'm thinking about moving here, so I wanted to feel what it was like to live here. Not having to pay $100+ a night for a hotel was also really nice.
Yeah, that's definitely a perk for being a member of Trusted House Sitters. And Squatties, we'll have the link in our show notes in case you want to sign up to stay for free just as well.
We also have a whole mini episode on Trusted House Sitters, what it is, how to sign up, how much it costs, things like that. I love it. I use it all the time for people to watch my house and now staying in others' houses, so it's pretty cool. But back to the travel side of things, we are going to highlight some of the best things to do in St. Petersburg, St. Pete Beach, amazing beaches and beach resorts to check out, great places to eat and drink, as well as some of the other stories of what I was doing here. So, like I said, I was working technically 3 different jobs. One of them was house sitting. One of them was my remote corporate job that I just got hired for. This was my first week on the job. So it was a lot of like onboarding and, not the real work.
Yeah. Lots of modules, lots of videos.
Exactly. A little bit better for that kind of work when you're traveling. And then I also picked up an event job working a music festival. It was supposed to be on St. Pete Beach, but it ended up getting moved to Clearwater because of baby sea turtles nesting on St. Pete Beach.
Aw, how cute.
So you can do that out there. I think it's also really cool to pick up jobs like that event job when you are traveling because it essentially allows the trip to pay for itself. The car rental, the house was free, so food, drinks, all of that stuff. I actually made money by taking this trip, by working and balancing it out with what I did there. It's honestly a brilliant way to travel, Squatties. You need to look into this style.
Get it, girl.
All right, a couple of tips for you if you're going to St. Petersburg, whether it's for travel, for fun, for business, or maybe you're visiting someone who lives there.
Or you're a remote worker and just looking for a change of scenery for a week or 2.
Absolutely. I will say the positive thing about it is although it looks like a sprawling destination on the map, it only takes about 20 minutes to get anywhere. I wasn't staying super close downtown. I think downtown starts around like 5th or 2nd Avenue. I was staying all the way on 71st, and it still only took me about 12 minutes to get downtown. Took me 20 minutes to get there from the beach. So just about everywhere. Maybe if there was traffic, it would be 30 minutes, or if it was really far, like out past Clearwater. But I was pleasantly surprised with the transit. Traffic? No traffic. I actually talked to some people and they said, oh, yeah, I just moved here, but the traffic is so bad. It's like, what world have you been living in? There is no traffic here.
Well, maybe they commute into Tampa, right? So you're talking at least like if you're on the little peninsula of St. Petersburg, if you're looking at a map, you'll see what we're talking about. And then it creates the bay. Then there's Tampa across the way, right? So maybe that. But if you are staying central, it seems very easy to get around in terms of timing.
Absolutely. I would recommend visiting in the spring or fall. I went in early May and it was still warm, but if you don't hit it on one of those seasons, you're going to be met with a lot of humidity. In the winter, it could be nice as well, maybe not as nice for the beach, but spring and fall is going to be your sweet spot. Parking can be a little bit of a tricky situation. Any downtown is going to be a little bit difficult to park. I didn't really find that when I went to St. Pete downtown, but I did find it hard to park St. Pete Beach. There's like nowhere to park publicly. I thought I could just go and find a parking spot on the street. No, you cannot. You have to pay to park, and the parking is quite expensive, like $6 an hour.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that, but it kind of makes sense for a beach town. I can see that happening.
Obviously, you're going to want to wear sunscreen. I got sunburned quite a bit when I was here because I did not do that.
You know, Kim, you always say you get burned when you go to sunny places and you love the sun. No judgment, because I always say the same thing. I burn, but, tips, guys, wear sunscreen, even though sometimes we do not. You really should yourselves. Just don't be lazy like we are and put it on.
I really never pack it. That's the problem. I need to just start packing it.
Well, they sell it there too, Kim.
Yes, they do. And they also sell aloe vera.
There you go. I need the aloe vera afterwards because I really get screwed by the sun.
My last 2 tips for you are, if you're going to go for the beach, which I would highly recommend you do, plan to explore all the beaches. There's so many beaches. If I would do St. Pete again, and I would, spoiler alert, I would just stay toward the beach and go beach to beach. There's 7 miles of beaches from Paseo Grill to Treasure Island. It's a whole strip of the western side of Florida and St. Pete. Gorgeous beaches, and they're all a little bit different, and they're all still really chill, easily accessible. I would do that. And then lastly, because there's beaches, you will want to visit some beach resorts. I recommend using ResortPass, getting yourself a day pass, or plan to stay at one of these resorts and enjoy some of the entertainment they have there too.
So let's get into it, Kim. I know you gave tips, little preface. Tell us about all your time there.
All right. Wednesday was when I first arrived in St. Petersburg. I was driving in from Orlando. Very easy, like hour and a half, 2-hour drive. I was working remote, like I said. So I have my hotspot connected to my laptop. I'm watching all my training videos. It's actually a great use of time. If you have any webinars you need to watch, just watch them in your car.
I actually
did
don't let
that
work hear
once.
that, Kim. They might be a little upset.
Hey, I was still working. I'm actually a fantastic multitasker.
This I know.
So I was doing that. And I was like, it's about early afternoon, like 12 o'clock when I'm rolling into town. I should go find a coffee shop to work from. And so I'm looking up coffee shops and I find this one called Pear Looks beautiful, highly recommended. There's a bunch of TikToks about it. I loved it. I thought, okay, I'm going to go check it out. But it turns out there's two. There's one in town and there's one at a beach resort. I thought, I'm going to go to the one at the beach resort. I looked on ResortPass. There was a $40 resort pass. I didn't even get the coffee. I just went straight for the resort pass. And the beach resort that it's at is called SkyBeach.
For those that don't know, Kim, can you just tell us a little bit about ResortPass and how it works?
Yeah, ResortPass is a website, resortpass.com, not affiliated and not sponsored at this time, although we'd love to be. But I've used them many times. It allows you to, for any given city, search the available hotels that are offering day passes. They're also doing spa passes now, which is pretty cool. Sometimes those spa passes come with like a massage or a facial or a glass of champagne or something. But the pool passes are typically access to the pool, access to the facilities, and really that's about it. The towels and beach beds and stuff that it comes with. But it gives you access to amazing beach resorts where you don't have to be staying there. You can just go. I use it all the time here in Austin for rooftop hotels. The pool's there. I've used it in San Diego and now here in St. Petersburg.
So you didn't even get coffee. You bypassed the coffee. You went straight for the resort pass and to get onto the beach resort.
That's right. It's a beautiful resort. I would recommend staying here if you were looking for a spot in St. Pete Beach. It's huge. There's tons of beach beds. I think there's 2 different pools. There was nobody here either. So I pretty much had the beach resort to myself. I went straight for a bed on the sand. So I'm right oceanfront, laying on a beach bed, covered by an umbrella. I pull out my laptop. This is truly the pinnacle of working remote. from the beach. It was like dreams come true.
And what beach did you start at?
I think this is their private beach at SkyBeach. It's not necessarily a public beach, but it's in St. Pete Beach.
Okay. Did you grab anything to eat? Did they have any restaurants on site?
They have a huge restaurant on site, 2-story. They have tons of food and drinks on the menu there. I ended up getting really good chicken tacos and they came with fries, which was interesting, but they were good. And then I got a key lime pie cocktail.
Ooh, so Florida.
It was really good, actually. It tasted exactly like a key lime pie. So that's what I got instead of the coffee, did the key lime pie cocktail. And I stayed there for probably 4 hours, took some pictures, dipped in the water a little bit, mostly worked. And at around 5 or 6, I needed to go meet my trusted house sitter homeowner and get the key from her, which is the first time I've ever actually met one of the people either I was staying at or they were staying at my house. It usually doesn't happen like that. But anyway, met up with her, got a little tour of the house, and then said, you know what, I'm going to leverage this time. I'm not going to stay in the house. I'm going to go optimize and check out St. Pete Pier. St. Pete Pier is not like your average pier. It's not like other girls. It is a very modern, newly renovated cement pier. It's not a wooden pier, and it's very, very long, and it branches out into different sections. So it's kind of got multiple pathways going on in it. It opened in 2021. It was actually a $95 million development. It's this huge winding pier, dolphins swimming beneath you.
Oh, so cool.
Boats out in the ocean. St. Pete Pier is right in the same area of downtown St. Petersburg and Vinoy Park, which I'll get to in a minute, but it's a very beautiful area right here. and the pier is pretty as well. It takes quite a while to walk down the whole thing. And this is when I started to realize St. Petersburg is a very wellness city. Like, piers attract people who like to work out, and there were a lot of people who were running, walking, rollerblading. It's a very fitness-friendly place here. There was even a free community massive yoga session going on the pier.
I have a question for you, Kim. So I'm Googling it right now, and I can see photos, which really cool because, usually a pier is one way in, but it looks like they have two opposing sides, crosses that you can actually make. I'm seeing photos of people that are paddle boarding in between. Mm-hmm. I see some green space even on the pier too. Mm-hmm. Like, they make a little hill and you can look out on it and sit on the grass. So that's pretty cool. But I see this one big unique building at the very end. What is in there? Just shops for food, or what is that?
Yeah, great question. So as I started getting to the end of the pier, I start to hear loud music, and I'm like, okay, let me follow this music. What's going on? And that's exactly where it was. Up at the very end of the pier, you go up a few flights of stairs, and there's a rooftop tiki bar up there. There's also a restaurant, an ice cream shop. There's no shopping, actually, but they're food vendors. The place on the very top is called Pier Tiki. It's really cool. Actually, when I got up there, the sun was starting to get ready to set. So it had this beautiful orange haze, and it just gave me vibes like New York City. It looked like a rooftop bar in New York City.
But over the water.
It's really pretty. Well, New York City has water.
That's true. Same, but
without
different.
the massive skyscrapers, especially since you're out on a pier.
When you're on the pier looking back to the city, you see the skyline.
Wow, very nice.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of gives you that impression. In fact, I posted a reel of it, and my friend who lives in New York was like, shoot, I thought it was New York too before I saw the tiki sign.
So did you grab anything to drink there or eat while you were there?
Yeah, it was too pretty not to. So I sat down at the bar, I ordered a rosé, started chatting with the bartender a little bit, and they were so nice. He came over a little bit later, and my rosé was I don't know, a third left in it, and he topped me off, didn't charge me. We had a little connection. But after that, I went downstairs to Teak, and I got a little ice cream scoop, and I moseyed around a little bit and enjoyed that a little bit more. It's very good. A little Oreo cookies and cream situation. And then I was about to start my way back when I started noticing these massive trolley golf cart things that were picking people up and driving them back and forth on the pier. I was like, okay, I could walk back or I could trolley back. And so I hopped on the trolley. They do run back and forth every 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the day and the time of day. So if you're someone who's elderly or not as able to walk the whole pier, that's an option for you.
Do they charge anything for that?
They don't charge for it. It's free. You can tip if you want.
Very nice. So free public transportation on the pier is what it sounds like. I love it.
And this pier is pretty cool. Like I said, they were doing that big public yoga. That's a frequent thing that they do. They also do markets here on the weekends in the morning where they have tons of vendors come out and spread out around the pier. Another day I was down in this area in the morning and I heard a bunch of music. I didn't know what was going on, but there was some type of event happening too. So it's a major hotspot in St. Petersburg. You have to come here.
Before you move on from the pier, was there parking near the pier? Was it more accessible than St. Pete Beach?
That's a great question. I did have to walk a bit for the parking. I actually got a parking spot downtown because it kind of borders downtown. Someone pulled out and I got the spot, but it might be a little bit of a challenge to find a spot. But I'm thinking comparatively Miami or, some of these bigger cities where it could be a little harder. It's not that hard. You just might have to circle a little bit.
So that was your first day in St. Petersburg. So I'm assuming after then you went to the house that you were sitting at and settled in.
Just called it a night, settled in.
Determined to make the rest of summer the best of summer? LL Bean has clothing and gear designed to do it all. Like sun-washed apparel that feels broken in from the start. Rainwear for every surprise rainstorm. Hand-sewn boat shoes. And of course, the iconic boat and tote. Made right here in Maine to carry all your summer essentials since 1944. LL Bean. Be an outsider. Visit llbean.com to learn more.
If you've ever blasted synth beats from your boombox or burned CDs for your besties, this one's for you. As people get older, much like their music tastes, their health needs change. AG1 is the simple daily health drink designed to deliver over 75 essential daily nutrients and pre- and probiotics to support energy, digestion, and mood. So you can make the most out of every decade and dance break. Learn more at drinkag1.com.
The next day was Thursday. This was corporate working day, but we can do whatever you want when you work corporate, or I should say you can work wherever you want. I started my day early. I love Pilates. I love trying different Pilates in different cities. And there was one called Carve downtown that I really wanted to go to. It's an all red studio, kind of a Legree style Pilates. Really good. And I feel like you can tell a lot about a city based on its fitness. If you're someone that does enjoy working out, seeing the quality of the gyms, the quality of the instructors, and the type of people that are working out there are really going to give you a feel for the locals, the local life there. I can say Carve was a good workout. Cool people, look like they went there. I approve. Right next door to Carve, there was a place called Southern Grounds, coffee shop, cafe. And I'd heard a lot about St. Pete's coffee industry, coffee culture. I wanted to try one. So I went in, and this was probably 7 in the morning. And there actually was a lot of people in there working remotely, having a little breakfast, coffee, and they had some pretty cool drink combinations, unique flavors that you don't really see too often. I almost got my classic caramel latte, and then I saw the list and I was like, oh no, wait, I'm going to get this French toast crunch latte.
How was it?
Is actually very good.
I always feel like I know my classics and I want to stick to them, but it's always fun to try to branch out and try something new. But I'm always a little nervous, like it won't be as good as I'm hoping it would be. So I'm glad to hear the French toast crunch latte was delicious.
Yes, Southern Grounds, I do approve. I would work there remotely if I didn't already have somewhere else I was going to go. But as far as the coffee culture in St. Pete, this was my only exposure to it. I do wish that I got a little bit more of that. If I had been there a little longer, I could have done that. But next time, we'll have to do. I was really excited for where I was planning to work today. So I did work in the morning at home, and then I wanted to go to Don CeSar. This was actually my second time in St. Pete. I spent one brief night in St. Pete a year and a half ago at this point. I spent a quick night here. All I did was Paseo Grill Beach. And on Paseo Grill Beach is Don CeSar. Don CeSar is an iconic beach resort. Everything is pink. I had just come from Palm Beach, and it was giving Palm Beach vibes. Old money, classic, gorgeous, rich, opulent, beautiful.
No, I'm looking at the photos of it right now, and the first thing that I thought of when I saw it was that, one, it kind of looks like, minus the pink color, of course, the Atlantis Hotel in the Bahamas. And then that also gave me vibes of when we were in the Bahamas and that kind of bright, vibrant colonial style buildings. But just imagine this built up on the side of a pristine beach. It's really beautiful.
Same kind of vibe as like the Hotel Del in San Diego.
Yes.
Gorgeous resort right on the beach. And it was a great time. I got a ResortPass. It was $140, so quite a lot more than the $40 from SkyBeach the day before. But this place is iconic, and I very much enjoyed my time here. So your day pass does come with access to the sauna, steam room, an amazing gym. I really wish I would have known about the gym because I could have done my workout here instead of Pilates that day. But I obviously already did my workout, did not use any of those facilities actually because I spent most of my time by the pools and on the beach. They have a couple huge pools here, tons of beach beds. Everything's pink. Like, I love pink and it's so aesthetically pleasing. Service was fantastic here. Had an umbrella. I'm doing my work on my laptop. At this time, my new boss put an impromptu call to check in on how my first week is going. I'm literally like wearing a bikini by the pool. I have no clothes.
Did he want the video on or off?
We're a video on company. So my stuff's all in my locker, but I had a skirt. I just kind of like pulled it up to look like tube top dress and put my hair in front. Made it work, but so if you're going to work remote, you might have a video call. Just have like a little backup professional shirt you can throw on. The service was great here. I did order a couple drinks. I got a strawberry daiquiri. I got another frozen like pina colada type drink earlier in the day. I also ordered a flatbread pizza. The flavor, it was red, white, and blue was the title of it, but the flavor was red grape, walnuts, blue cheese.
Sounds really good. One of those type of unique pizzas that sound awkward, but you know when you eat it, if you like those flavors, it's going to be really good.
It was so good. And when she brought it out in the box, I had one slice in my hand and I had the box open, and some crazy ass bird comes in and attacks my pizza.
Oh no!
And he like kind of got the side of one, but the server was right there and she's like, I'll bring you another one.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, really great service here. So I enjoyed the pool for a bit. And then once it was officially 5 o'clock, I put my stuff back in my locker and I went out to the actual beach. Went for a nice walk down the beach. And I will say they keep the sand very pristine by the resort. But once you walk a little farther down where public access is, I guess it's all public access, but really where the public is more stationed, it started to feel more like an Alabama beach to me. Sand is still white, but there's more shells and it's more like grassy vegetation.
Okay, so you feel like they groom this beach for the resort specifically?
100%, which I don't mind, but to feel what the beach is actually like, I was definitely getting that more Gulf Alabama beach style.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been there, so you understand kind of what I mean. Very long beaches and then like vegetation and hills in there.
Yeah, popping up. Yeah.
Still really pretty though. And then I enjoyed the beach beds for a while, baked out in the sun, did not wear sunscreen.
Did you get burnt this day?
I got a little extra color.
So how long would you say you stayed here at the beach resort?
I stayed here at least 7 hours.
Wow, so you got your money's worth.
I would stay longer because I arrived probably around 1 p.m. I wish I came at opening to close.
Well, now you know when you go back, that's your plan.
Yeah,
140
absolutely.
for all day.
And the price does vary based on day of week, time of year. So that's probably on the higher end, but it fluctuates. So check when you're going. Called it a day or a night after that. The next day, Friday, I did not have to work my corporate job, but I did have to work that music festival that was taking place Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So on a trip like this where I have to work, I'm going to try to pack in as much in the beginning of the day and as much of the end of the day as possible so that it's not just a work day. I still want to get life and travel out of my experience here. So I woke up really early on Friday and I went to Vinoy Park. I think you guys would really love Vinoy Park.
Tell us about it. Why would we love it?
Vinoy Park is a beautiful pathed parkway. So there's pathways for walkers and bike riders. Palm trees abound and it edges on the Tampa Bay. So you have the sun rising over the water. So pretty at that time in the morning. People walking their dogs. It's like a really pretty aesthetic. But then once you go to the bay, I saw this on TikTok. You can see dolphins from here. I thought, that's cool, but like, what are the chances of actually seeing a dolphin? Literally, as soon as I walked up to the side with the water, boom, a dolphin was right there.
Aw, so cool.
I know. And then you just kept seeing dolphins and dolphins jumping in the water and out in the distance and right by the side. Like, they love this part of the bay.
I love watching animals, so I would be entertained for hours just walking along and watching them.
You could really tell where they were too if you couldn't see them yourself. If you saw a dog going crazy, there was a dolphin right there. And this place was cool, especially at the early morning hour that I went. It was probably like 7 in the morning. Plenty of parking in the parking lot. Free, which is nice. So this could be a lot to check out if you are wanting to go to the pier, the St. Pete Pier. They're very close together. In fact, you can see the pier as you're watching all the dolphins in the bay right there. It's just a really nice, like, grounding, centering place to be. So I spent probably like at least an hour out here walking around, looking at dolphins, meditating with the sunrise. Right behind Vinoy Park, connected to it, is the Vinoy Hotel. This is a Marriott hotel. And I don't know what it is about Florida, but they love pink palaces.
I love pink palaces too.
I know, me too. Florida's amazing. But I found that in St. Pete, this now Vinoy Hotel is the second iconic resort to be all pink. Miami has an all pink hotel. Palm Beach had a ton of pink hotels, pink homes all around. It's like, if I move to Florida, I need a pink home. I'll just say that. But Vinoy Hotel is an iconic resort that has been around for many, many years. It's definitely worth going in. I did walk in a little bit, check it out. There's a nice coffee shop in the lobby there, and it's just worth looking at. It's kind of like the Hotel Del. Like, you go in, it's worth checking it out because it's so pretty.
Did you get anything while you were there or just kind of moseyed about?
On this day, I did not get anything. Monday, on my last day here, I did go back here and actually work from here. I did get there's a really nice restaurant right by the pool called Paul's Landing. I was going to do a beach resort pass here, but I decided not to. I was like, okay, I already did 2. Probably shouldn't do another. But I ended up just getting a chicken Caesar salad wrap with seasoned fries. It was very good from Paul's Landing, and I ate it in the lobby here at Vinoy Hotel.
I was going to ask if you did anything else before you had to do your work event.
On this day, I did not. I spent most of my morning here. It's actually a really pretty neighborhood. I spent a lot of time just checking it out, taking it all in, because I'm thinking about moving here. So I want to see what this neighborhood is like. If I did move, I think this would be a great neighborhood to live in. There are beautiful, like, apartment buildings and homes here. It kind of reminds me of South Park in San Diego. That kind of style of like single family, one-story home, big porch. That architecture is really pretty. Lots of trees. It seemed to be like nicer cars. It's probably more expensive to live here if I had to guess just by looking around. It was a really nice neighborhood. So that's all I did this day. The festival was in Clearwater. What I realized though, I'm kind of glad that it got moved up to Clearwater because I got to see a little bit more of this area. Clearwater is also very, very beautiful, only like 25 minutes away from St. Pete. Just beyond Clearwater is actually, I want to see how you guys pronounce this. We have in our show notes a name of a city that starts with a D. How do you pronounce it?
Dunedin.
That was my guess too. Was Dunedin or Dunedin?
I thought it was Dunedin. Apparently it's Dunedin.
Dunedin. Okay.
And it's one of the top cities in America that is pronounced incorrectly.
I can see why.
Spelled Dunedin. Dunedin. But I said Dunedin.
I said it around someone in Florida and they were like, what did you just say? Do you mean Dunedin?
You're all, yeah, actually, I guess that's what I meant.
But that's a very pretty place along the Gulf of Florida as well. Also not too far away. I wish I could have gone there, but next visit to St. Pete, I will make my way up there.
Amazon Health AI presents Painful Thoughts.
Why did I search the internet for answers to my cold sore problem? Now I'm stuck down a rabbit hole filled with images of alarmingly graphic sores in various stages of ooze. I can clear my search history, but I can never unsee that.
Don't go down the rabbit hole. Amazon Health AI gets you the right care, fast. Healthcare just got less painful.
Traditional home security only alerts you after a break-in, and that's too late. Simply Safe is changing that.
Stop. This is Simply Safe. Police are on the way.
We don't just alert, we stop crime before it starts. Simply Safe, plan starting around $1 a day. Save 50% on your new system with professional monitoring at simplysafe.com/Spotify or with promo code Spotify.
Outdoor deterrence requires a Simply Safe Active Guard outdoor protection plan starting at $49.99 a month. Visit simplysafe.com/licenses for alarm license information. Tennessee 2012.
Okay, Saturday comes around and I work the festival all day, but I'm committed to seeing downtown St. Pete at night. I love nightlife. Nightlife is a big part of why I would like Miami. I enjoy nice restaurants and fun clubs and lively places, right? So I haven't really seen any of that from St. Pete yet. Although I've seen great restaurants and all that and hotels, but like it's been very chill. So I'm like, okay, downtown St. Pete. I talked to some of my coworkers at the festival. They give me the inside scoop. I'm all excited. I go change in the car from the festival, go straight there. Don't even go home. I go downtown. I have a reservation at Olivia, which you guys ate at in Tampa.
Yes, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved Olivia. How did you hear about it?
TikToks of best restaurants in St. Pete.
The reason we heard about it was because it comes up on Resy, and our American Express Gold Card gives us $50 per quarter to use at Resy restaurants. And so we looked it up, and they had a really great menu, so we wanted to eat there.
Yeah, they do have a good menu. It's Italian food, pastas, really good wines, things like that. So I made a reservation there, and I'm glad I did because it was graduation season and very busy in the downtown area. And I'm glad it was busy because it really gave me a good feel. Now, I don't want to offend anyone in St. Pete with my assessment. Just going to preface that. I don't mean any offense by any of this. But I'm also in my head comparing it to Miami and even Austin, honestly. And I'm saying I don't want to offend anyone because I did give this assessment to one of my coworkers the next day at the festival, and she was not happy with it.
Almost like the person who didn't like that we didn't like Charleston. This is what it's sounding like here.
When I gave her my assessment, she's the one who told me, well, St. Pete's still up and coming, money is still coming in, and it's developing. So just take that.
So I'm assuming you didn't love it, but tell us why you didn't love it.
Yeah, so I went down by myself. I found parking extremely easily, so it gets points for that. I I'm like, okay, cool. This is the main area. I'm going to walk down this main road. And here's what I saw. People in sweatpants, some girls in heels dressed nicely, a lot of college-aged people, a man without shoes on, a lot of like that kind of like beach grunge, been around the town for 20, 30 years.
Like OB?
Yeah, kind of. I talked to a man who was carrying a Corona out on the street, asking him, like, where do you think I should go? Drunk as hell, walking around with a Corona bottle. It's just like this, like, divey kind of feeling. Like, a lot of the bars were very busy and very loud, but it was a lot of college-aged from what I could see. And, like, the divey bars had, like, Christmas lights everywhere and, like, just looked a little run down. I didn't go into any of them, so take that with a grain of salt. But like a lot of these bars that people recommended to me or that I saw as the best bars in St. Pete, I walked by. I did not want to go into them. So that was the best bars in St. Pete. The other thing was the downtown is 2 blocks. That's it. There's nothing else going on there, except for there are, as I come to find out, a couple of other spots that are more spread out. Like there's a really nice spot that's near the pier. Well, that's a few blocks away from this main downtown area. And it just, I know me living there, I would not be happy. I wouldn't be fulfilled enough. Even coming from Austin, it would be a downgrade in nightlife for me. For you squatties, maybe if you are from a smaller town, this actually would be really fun. Or if you're college age, right? I'm 36 years old, so it wasn't exactly my demographic.
So what did you do after you perused the downtown area?
So I was perusing because I got there earlier than my reservation. And so I was still killing some time. I did go into Olivia and ask, hey, you know, I'm here like 30 minutes early. Is there any chance? They're like, no, it's so busy. And in fact, the front desk host at Olivia was the only bad thing about Olivia. Very poor service.
I remember you saying that while we were chatting. Like you were like, I was very put off by him, that he was quite rude.
Yeah, Olivia, for having a front desk, like the first impression, not good. But I'll just give him a pass. It was a busy night. So luckily, right around the corner, there is an AC Marriott. I just love Marriott hotels. They really come through. On the very top of the roof, there is a bar called Cane and Barrel Rooftop Bar. It's actually more of like a Cuban style restaurant or bar. They do have food there too, like Cuban bites and stuff. Really great cocktails. They had live music going. It was very busy. Beautiful interior. This is one of the places I saw on TikTok, like best bars in St. Pete. I would say this was one of them. And the bartender was extremely nice and friendly, made me a custom cocktail that was kind of like that spa water type flavors.
Very nice. Like cucumber water, spa water? What do you mean?
Like a French laundry, like spa water type cocktail. It's a style of cocktail and it had a really good salted rim on it. It was amazing. I would highly recommend coming here for a pre-dinner drink. And then I went to dinner at Olivia. I sat at the bar and just eating solo. Sometimes I feel like a food critic because I have nothing else to do besides judge everything about it.
Maybe that could be your 4th job.
There we go. I could be. I judged the wine, had a nice glass of red wine. There was a server named Brooke who was behind the bar helping me. She was amazing. She made up for the sassy pants host that I had to have a conversation with. But Brooke was awesome. She was just really kind and really fast. It was like end of the night. So got my delicious red wine. It passed the test. And then I got the Quattro Formaggio Arancini, which came with like 5 smaller arancinis with a Quattro Formaggio sauce on the bottom as well as the inside of it. It was really, really good. Very savory.
That sounds really good.
And I got the carbonara. It's like a bucatini. It had, what is that? Jamal, the chef, what is the meat that they put in carbonara?
Technically, it's called speck, but a lot of people will sometimes use bacon or some sort of ham. But really, it's speck, which is a type of cured pork, of course, that's very similar to bacon.
Yeah, they had that as well as fried bacon in there. 2 different meats.
Ooh,
yeah, it was really good. And I knew this was too much food to eat, but I wanted to try them both. And then I had leftovers and that was awesome. And yeah, I kind of just had a great little time here. There were some people that came up and chatted with me and were like, oh, we're going out. Come with us. And I'm like, you could not pay me to go out anywhere around here. I'm sorry. Like, we're going to go dancing. And I'm like, where? I'm sorry, St. Pete.
Well, you know what? They could have taken you to a good spot. You maybe just saw a couple things on the main drag that weren't good, and there could have been some hidden gems for all you know. But nevertheless...
Probably. Nevertheless, I wasn't really there to party anyway. I, of course, had to work the festival the next day. But before doing that, I wanted to maximize my morning and see a little bit more of St. Pete Beach. I'd seen this place called Coconut Charlie's on TikTok. And I will say on St. Pete Beach, it did get hit by a hurricane a couple years ago. So Don CeSar was down for a long time in repairs from the hurricane. Coconut Charlie's was down for a very long time from the hurricane too. It had only recently reopened. So I wanted to check it out, support the local biz, and it was a really cute spot. It's actually a Hilton hotel where this restaurant is. So it's Mother's Day as well on this day. I go in, they say Happy Mother's Day to me. I'm like, thank you. My 2 little fur babies are at home.
Taking care of somebody else's fur baby on this trip too. So there you go. Your little auntie on
we're
this
all,
one as well.
Yeah. I had a really nice breakfast here. They had a nice mimosa bar, got one of those. And I just had a classic egg, sausage, potatoes, toast breakfast. Had it out on the patio. There was like a Caribbean lady singing. She knew all the words to all these famous songs people were suggesting. She was really creating a vibe for us. And that was a really nice time. And then in the back of Coconut Charlie's is where the beach bar is. This doesn't open until later in the day, but it has a huge wooden deck that does produce dancing at night.
Maybe that's where you were going to go dancing.
Maybe. But that's like a really fun spot in St. Pete Beach. If you're around this area at night, I would highly recommend checking that out. It's also a really beautiful property. They had hammocks that I hung out in for a little bit, and then there's beach access. So walk down the beach and check that out. They had like an inflatable jungle gym kind of thing in the ocean here.
Oh, I love those. I've always seen them and have never had the opportunity to play on one of them. So when I say I love them, I love the concept of them. I would really love to just mess around on something like that. That seems super fun.
Yeah, that's right up your alley. You would have
It
liked it. It looked cool. There were some kids enjoying it. There's tons of beach beds here that if you're staying at the resorts, you have access to, or you can go and talk to the attendant about renting one. Right next to this Hilton is the Tradewinds Resort. I was considering getting a resort pass at Tradewinds the next day, but because I saw it this day, I decided not to. Not because it wouldn't be a good option. It was probably fine, but I just saw it and it, kind of like ruins the surprise, the excitement of it all.
I've seen
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, it's okay. It's a big beach, beds everywhere, open to the public. I walked down, and as you walk down more and more, that you see more people. It was tons of families, tons of people in the water. It definitely gave me Texas vibes and Gulf vibes. Like people just go in the water and float. It wasn't that hot when I was there, but I imagine as it is really hot, that's the thing to do. But it's a very Texas thing, and I noticed the same kind of vibe out there. So I felt right at home.
So for someone that's visiting St. Pete for the first time and is going there to vacation, how long would you say they should spend?
You could have a really good time just on a weekend. I think a weekend, maybe 3 days would be perfect, especially if you're just there to visit it, not having to balance with work like I was. You can do a lot and have a lot of delicious food and drinks with 3 days.
It seems like it would be a good place, one, to just explore minus the nightlife. So if you're not like a go out downtown to a bar and party person, it seemed like everything else that you described was real cute, quaint, of course, having those beach vibes. But I do think it would be a good hub because when we went to Florida recently, and like we said, it was Tampa, we went because we want to go swim with the manatees and do some manatee watching, right? And it's not too far from here. Yes, it's a good bit of a drive, but if you're going to go do something like that, this could be your good hub spot. You do that for the day, come back, have more time to explore and spend in this area.
Yeah, in fact, manatees are in St. Pete as well. The pier, they're still constructing a portion of it that will have an area where you can see the manatees swimming below the pier.
Oh, that's really cool.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I did not ask it when you were talking about the pier and the park where you said you saw the dolphins swimming because, again, like I said, I know the manatees are close to this area. I didn't know if they really come up into the bay, but they do. So if you go during the right time, you can go also see the manatees here. This isn't the spot to go swim with them necessarily like you could do other places nearby in Florida. But if you don't want to get in the water with them and just want to see them, this seems like a good spot as well.
Yep. And I'll definitely come back. I liked it enough that I want to see more of it and spend more time there, but I just don't think it's the place for me to live. At least not right now. Maybe a little bit later when I want a little calmer life and the downtown has built itself up a bit more.
Yeah. for sure. I wasn't going to say not to age us as a whole, but what you missed out on the downtown lifestyle. It's like how many more years till that's super important for you to really care about, right? And then that could almost be a good thing that it's at that level. I said age us. I didn't say age you, Kim. I'm talking about us being older,
You guys would love it.
We are the old married couple of the group. That is for sure, Kim.
Well, Squatties, thank you so much for tuning in to this different episode. I hope you got inspired to visit St. Pete. It really is a great place. Meanwhile, keep the adventures going with us on all our socials at Travel Squad Podcast. Send us in your questions.
If you found the information in this episode be useful, or if you thought we were just plain funny, please be sure to share it with a friend that would enjoy it too. And as always, please subscribe, rate and review our podcast, and tune in every Travel Tuesday and Fridays for new episodes.
Stay tuned for next week's episode. We have some more amazing adventures and tips in store for you.
Bye, Squatties.
Bye, Squatties.